Welcome to the screencast, continuing in Chapter 1, talking about the 5 foundations of economics. In this screencast, we're going to talk about trade-offs and opportunity cost. All right, they're concepts that are really closely connected to one another, so I just put them all together in this same screencast. All right, so when you have scarcity, any decision that you make incurs some sort of cost. All right, so a few examples to think about. If you go to the theater, do you watch an action movie or a romantic comedy? All right. If you go to one movie, you necessarily can't go to the other movie because your time is scarce. You can't see both movies at the same time. All right. If you go to the food court here at the Market Square, do you eat at Panda Express or do you eat at Brick Oven? All right. You usually don't eat at both at the same time. Although I guess in that example, you could get one dish from one and one from the other. After high school, do you attend San Jose State, or do you go to Cal Poly, or do you go to a technical school, community college, one of the Cals, or do you go straight to work? All right, all those choices usually exclude the other, especially if it's a full-time career job. So, which president do you vote for? You usually only get one vote for president, and if you vote for one person, you can't vote for the other. All right. Just like we do, governments face trade-offs also, all right? So if a government spends tax dollars on education, then it can't spend it on the highway. Those dollars are gone, those particular dollars, all right? So government faces trade-offs. If government's thinking about penalizing pollution, all right? We're going to talk about pollution and what we're going to call negative externalities later on, but the government wants to stop companies from polluting, so maybe they penalize it in some way. They tax it, they regulate it, whatever it is. Well, that's good. We get cleaner air, better health, better outcomes. But that means less industry, means higher prices in some sectors. Some things may get extremely more expensive. It means a loss of jobs, right? So there's always a trade-off with almost any decision that someone makes. And different cultures may have different values about these trade-offs, just like different individuals have different values about different trade-offs. And sometimes it can even depend on wealth. In a very wealthy country like the United States, relative to many places in the world, we've started to make more and more of a trade-off between having cleaner air and cleaner water. And we do that knowingly, often at the expense of growth, jobs, cheaper goods and services. All right. So the saying that economists have that kind of sums up this, and you'll see it in different ways, is tennis staffel, whatever. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch. All right. Anything you do has a cost because you're not doing something else. All right. So the free lunch idea used to come from bars would give out free food if you would come and drink in their bar. And of course, it wasn't free. The food wasn't free because you had to pay to drink in the bar. It also wasn't free because you weren't going to whatever other place you would have gone for lunch. So any decision that you make, anything that you purchase, anything that is even given to you is not free from an economist's point of view because there is a cost, and it's those things you gave up. What economists call those costs are opportunity cost. All right. So the opportunity cost is the value of the next best thing you would have done. All right. So if, say, you're going to spend this next hour watching screencast, and you do that, then the opportunity cost is whatever the next best thing you would have been doing instead of watching these screencasts. All right. That's your opportunity cost of watching the video. All right. So it's the next best thing that you gave up. It's not all the other things you gave up. It's the value of the next best thing that you gave up, all right? So in economics, the cost of something is what you give up to get it. So there's an explicit cost usually, because we're going to often talk about just the market for widgets, or the market for beer, or the market for wings, whatever it is. You pay for those things, but then there's also, well, what else could you have done with that money? What was the next best thing you would have used that money for? That's the opportunity cost. And economists include both those costs when thinking about decision making. All right. So scarcity forces people to make choices, and those choices make you incur opportunity cost, just to kind of connect several of the ideas that we've already been talking about. So let me give you a few examples of opportunity cost. Well, should you go to the mall or go to the pool? All right, well, the opportunity cost of going to the mall is the lost opportunity of going to the pool. Conversely, the opportunity cost if you go to the pool is the lost opportunity of going to the mall. We're assuming these are the two best options someone has and they're picking between them. So if they pick the mall, the next best opportunity was the pool. And so that's the opportunity cost, all right? So decision making here is key, all right? So what you individuals usually strive to do is to minimize the opportunity cost by selecting the option that has the largest benefit, right? So if you're looking at a list of things, the one that benefits you the most or you like the most has to have the lowest opportunity cost because the next best option is worse by definition, right? So say you were to value going to the pool more than the mall. If you picked going to the mall instead, then your next best option would be worth more to you than the thing you did, right? The opportunity cost would be more than the value of the thing that you did. And we'll get a lot clearer about this later on if that seems a little bit confusing, all right? So another example is a business wants to make a profit, and that's great. But what if that business could have made more profit by producing something else? That means the opportunity cost of what they were producing was higher than the value that they could have gotten for something else. All right, so that's the way we think about it on the firm side. All right. So the last thing I want to leave you with is an example of, well, a firm, or Homer Simpson here, not understanding opportunity cost and how he is going to get it very wrong in terms of opportunity cost. And I've learned now that instead of putting the links directly on the screencast where you can click them, YouTube doesn't let me link to videos outside of YouTube. So you'll find the link on the YouTube page below in the description of the video. So if you're on Canvas, you may have to hop over there to get the link for the Homer Simpson clip. But anyways, thanks a lot. See you next time.